friends, and welcome back to Rustic and Lace DIY. If this is your first time here today, my name is Brenda and this is Lexi, and we are so happy to have you here as well. If you are returning, thank you so much for all of your support, and I am so happy to have you here today too. Today I'm participating in Heidi's Sonboul's fall challenge, and I'll let you know more about that in a few minutes. But with all that being said, let's get to crafting. Okay, here's DIY number 1. So I used this Waverly chalk paint in the colors Fern, Laquer, Silver Lining, I believe, and Pumpkin. And then I used 2 of these Pallet pumpkins from the Dollar Tree, some Tumbling tower blocks, and you see that foil pan there. I ended up not using it. I ended up using burlap that I got from Walmart. So I start off by using a box cutter to just cut off the stem of both of those pumpkins, and it's pretty easy to come off. It just takes a few times going over it and it comes right off. And then after that, I took my pumpkin color paint and I am going to paint both ends of the pumpkins on both pumpkins. So both ends will have orange. And then I took my Silver Lining and I am painting the next, I don't know, strip from the left. I'm going to paint that on both pumpkins as well. And then I'm going to use the red one for the next strip and the green one for the following strip. And I do that on both. Once they were dry, I took my antique Waverly wax and a baby wipe, and I am just brushing some of that wax onto all of those colors on both of those pumpkins. And that just kind of gives it a more rustic, kind of dirty look. And I was kind of nervous before I did this because the colors of the pumpkins or on the pumpkins were so bright. I wasn't sure I was going to like it, but the minute I did this, I absolutely love the way it came out and the way it looks. It was exactly what I was picturing in my mind. So once those were dry, I'm just taking my hot glue and I am going to glue those two together. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I wanted it to be a little thicker. I didn't want it just as thin as it was with just the one pumpkin. So here I'm just taking some hot glue and I am going to hot glue the burlap ribbon all around the sides and the top of that pumpkin that's glued together. And once I get this side done, I trim off some of it because it was wider than I wanted it to be or than it needed to be. So I just trimmed some of it off, which I probably should have done before I started hot gluing. So if you recreate this, you might want to do that as well. And then I hot glued the burlap ribbon to the back of this as well. If you are new here, I just want to say welcome. I am so thrilled to have you here, and I hope you really like what you see today and you hit that subscribe button and become part of our family. I would love to have you join. And if you do, make sure you hit that notification bell so you know when I upload, and let me know in the comment box that you're new and what was your favorite DIY today. So after I had that all on, I took 4 tumbling tower blocks and I glued them together. Actually, I took 8 and I glued 4 together so that I had 2 strips of 4 tumbling tower blocks that were all together. If that makes any sense. And once I am done with that, then I just take my antique Waverly wax and I wax those just like I did with the pumpkins. And after that, I took this little metal leaf that I got off of a different DIY that I had done previously, and I wanted to dirty it up because it was just very shiny. So I took some more of that wax, brushed it on, and here I'm just I kind of let it sit on it for a few minutes or a few seconds, and then I just wiped the excess off. Then after that, I took some hot glue and one of these little sticks that I actually got from Amazon, but if you have a lot of trees in your house, you could probably go outside and pick one. And I'm just hot gluing it to the top to be the stem. I got this Raffia bow from another project that I had, and I'm just hot gluing that right there underneath the stem. And then I'm taking some Fix-All glue that I got from the Dollar Tree and a little bit of hot glue, and I am just going to hot glue that on right underneath that bow. And then I took my tumbling tower blocks and I just hot glue one strip to each side on the bottom there so that my pumpkin can stand up. And that is it for this DIY, and I love the way this looks. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. I did paint that Hello Autumn sign. I used a little bit of the antique wax and put that on the pumpkin. I'm sorry, I don't know what happened to that footage of that. So if today's challenge is hosted by Heidi Sonboul and it's just a fall DIY challenge. If you don't know who she is, I'm amazed because I think of her as the queen of crafting. So make sure you check her out. She is an amazing crafter. She has a couple of channels actually, and I just love watching her. She is great. I even follow her on Instagram. So make sure you check her out. The link to her channel will be in my description box, as well as check out the playlist and see what everybody is creating today. And that will be in my description box as well. So here is DIY number 2. And this is a topiary. And I'm using some of these carvable pumpkins that I got from the Dollar Tree, some twine that I got from Walmart, and then I had this leftover sweater scraps and denim scraps that I got from Goodwill, and then some faux leather that I got from from Dollar Tree. Now, if you don't have any of that faux ribbon that they had at the Dollar Tree, you can find some at Hobby Lobby or Amazon, maybe Walmart, I'm not sure, maybe even Michael's. So I know you can find some. So here I'm just taking my box cutter and I am just cutting a hole on both the top part of the pumpkin and the bottom part of the pumpkin. And these pumpkins are just made out of styrofoam, so they break very easily. So if you just push them a little bit, the middles come right out. So then I am just taking the strips of leather that I had cut out, and I am just going to hot glue them all around the pumpkins. Now be careful when you're using the hot glue. You don't want it to put too much on, or because you don't want to melt that styrofoam. My hot glue gun has 2 temperatures, so I had set mine on the low temperature, so that way I didn't have to worry as much. So I did make these strips a little bit long, so you'll see me kind of trimming them down there. But I am just going to go and put strips all around the pumpkin. And I'm just doing that with my hot glue. And then once I am done with this, which should be any second here. Sorry. Oh my goodness. I'm going to actually do the same thing with the denim and with the sweater. So there's what it looked like when I was done. And then I'm going to do the same thing, like I said, using the denim and using that sweater. So once I was done, there's what they all 3 look like. I went and I had this lace ribbon that I got from Dollar Tree, and I cut it in strips, and I'm just going to hot glue that over all of those seams, because I think you probably noticed that some of those seams were kind of puckered. They didn't overlap. They were too close together, I guess I should say. So I decided to use this ribbon to kind of cover that. And then I used some twine on the denim, and then some leather ribbon that I had from Dollar Tree on this sweater. So here I took this pail that I also got from the Dollar Tree, and I'm taking some of this burlap that I got from Walmart, and I'm just going to hot glue that all around the top part of that pail. I wanted to dress this pail up a little. I liked the buffalo check on it. I loved the give thanks, but I just felt like it needed a little something extra. So once I was done with that, I am going to add a little bit more bling, I guess you could say, but I'm hot gluing these leaves, just adding a few leaves around the top as well, just kind of giving it a little more character. And then after that, I'm going to take my hot glue gun, and I just put a little bit of glue around right where it's going to connect with that pail. And I put the leather one on the bottom, and this was my thinking. When I think of a pumpkin patch, I think of wearing boots. So I figured leather on the pumpkin represents the boots. I usually wear denim jeans, so I wanted to make the second pumpkin with denim. And then I'm usually wearing a sweater. So that's why I did a pumpkin with sweater, and I'm putting that one on the top. See? I know, I'm a little crazy, aren't I? But this is what I think of. This is exactly what I think of when I think of fall and I think of pumpkin patches. Although we just recently moved to the south, so it's probably not the same as it was when we lived in the northwest. But this is still what my memories are, and I love the way this came out. It brings back a lot of good memories for me. Memories of taking my grandsons to the pumpkin patch and having a lot of fun. So here I'm just adding a little more detail and adding some leaves around those pumpkins. Boy, just talking about that got me all teared up, guys. I'm sorry. Anyways, and then I did have another one of those wood stems that I hot glued in the middle of that pumpkin at the top. I have seen other people do topiaries like this, and they've actually put wooden dowels in the middle of the pumpkins and put that through. I just decided to do it this way. So here I just took some raffia and I wrapped some twine around it and made a bow, and then I got one of these pumpkins that I got from Hobby Lobby and I added that to the middle, and I'm just going to hot glue that to the pail, and then I took a couple more of those pumpkins and added them onto the denim pumpkin as well. And that was all there is for that, and let me know what you think. I just love it. I love what it represents to me. It means a whole lot, and I hope you like it too. If you guys aren't following me on social media, check me out. I am on Facebook and Instagram as Rustic and Lace DIY. And if you'd like to buy me a coffee or some craft supplies, I have a link for that in my description box as well, and I would really be excited to see something like that. Okay, here is DIY number 3. Okay, I absolutely love this wreath. I'm just in love with this. So I'm just using some wheat that I got from Dollar Tree, some eucalyptus leaves that I got from Walmart, this wreath form from the Dollar Tree, and I got this ribbon from Michael's right after Christmas. It was 75% off. So I'm sorry this isn't in frame, but basically what I'm doing is I'm just hot gluing the ribbon to itself. So I just wrapped it around the bottom of that frame and then hot glued it to itself. Hopefully that makes sense. And I'm really sorry that this was not in frame, but I'm just taking that ribbon and wrapping it all around that whole frame, and just kind of, making sure that it stays connected. And this was really easy. I think the hardest part was, it was getting all crooked and I kept having to straighten it out. But once I got to the end there, I just cut it off, and I'm going to fold in the end there, and then I'm going to hot glue it right onto itself. And then after that, I just went ahead and I took some of those eucalyptus leaves and I'm just kind of starting to lay them all out. And then I just take the wheat and I start laying them out, just kind of putting them here and there based on colors. I didn't want all the same color in one place. So I'm just kind of organizing the colors and laying them all out. And then I do use some of the floral wire. It pokes right through that ribbon, so I was able to poke that through the ribbon and tie it around the foliage there. And then I also use some of those, I don't know if those are pomegranates or what those little berry things are from Dollar Tree. I added a few of those too. Then I took this welcome sign I got from Dollar Tree and my Waverly chalk paint in the color pumpkin, and I just paint the whole sign with that pumpkin color. And then once I was done with that, I take my antique wax and a little brush, and I'm just going to brush on some of that to give it that rustic look as well. Now, what I don't show on here, and I apologize guys, I don't show the bow that I made. I was going to, I had all intentions to do it, but I was having a rough time. I really have to practice on making bows. So I will put in the description box the link of the video that I was watching that for that bow, so that if you want to make one, you can look at that video as well. Once that was done, I just took some more of that floral wire, and the letters E, I think it's E or C, maybe it's the C, no, it's the E. E has a hole, and I think the M had a little hole on it, so it was perfect. I just took my floral wire and I poked it through, or put it through the hole on the letters and poked it through the ribbon, and then just twisted it in the back, and voila, you have a sign. And I absolutely love the way this came out, you guys. And you guys, if you wanted to use hot glue on this instead of floral wire, you could definitely do that. I just wanted to kind of do something a little different than hot glue. I wanted to make sure it was going to stay on there. And that is it. And let me know what you think. I absolutely love this. The minute I saw this wheat at Dollar Tree, I knew I wanted to do something with it because I just thought it was so beautiful. And that eucalyptus from Walmart is just amazing to me. I absolutely love it. But let me know what you think about this, and let me know what you think about all of them. And I am so excited that you guys were all here with me today and that I got to participate in this challenge. Thank you, Heidi, for having this challenge. I am so excited about it. And so for that, guys, I hope you enjoy it. Watch the playlist, check out Heidi's channel, and I will be back on Sunday with another video. So we will see you then. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.